Welcome to Cinema Savants.
Laugh a while you can, monkey boy.
With your host,
No!
Todd Vandenberg.
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
And Rob Steele.
This sort of thing has cropped up before, and it has always been due to human error.
We're on a mission from God.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Your weekly dose of movie news.
I hear you can talk to fish.
Movie reviews.
What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
And the occasional TV news or rumor.
What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula?
And that's when I shot him, Your Honor.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. If you shoot him, you'll just make him mad.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Are you suggesting coconuts migrate?
And here we go.
Yoinks! And away!
Oh my God, the quarterback is toast.
Everyone signed? Yes. Good. On we go.
Welcome to another partly spectacular episode of Cinema Savants on not only the Happy Hour Network, but the Coil Entertainment Network, which now has a website. What a concept. CoilEntertainmentNetwork.com. Look it up. It's fun. We're going to have a website for this show up fairly soon, I think. Maybe even by the time you're listening to the show. I don't know.
Perhaps.
He's Todd Vandenberg, and for a change, I am Lumpa Waroo. I'll explain that later. We have got a ton of stuff to get through, even though we're doing the show early because we can. That and because other things happen on Sunday.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. I'm excited about the first story on the show because this was announced yesterday, and I'm putting this in our weekly segment. Is this a segment? I don't know. The yes, no, kinda, what? Duh?
It's a segment.
Our first yes of the week, and we've got 3 yeses, which is kind of a rarity.
That is.
This first one, fresh off the success of the Lego Batman movie, director Chris McKay has been announced to be directing a live-action Nightwing movie based on the DC Comics character. It's allegedly going to be part of the DC Extended Universe movies, which is awesome because I've always liked Nightwing. And if you don't know who that is, Nightwing is the original Robin, Dick Grayson, who in the 70s grew up and told Batman, bite me, I'm leaving, and became Nightwing. And he's always been a very cool character since. At least I think so. So
indeed he is.
I'm kind of psyched about this. What do you think?
If a certain gentleman by the name of Zach has no control whatsoever over this film, I'm much more excited. And hopefully by then they will have realized his influence is awful. And they will win.
Entirely possible. His name is not attached to this at all whatsoever so far.
Yeah, that would be good. I think that's a great, because that they can do a lot with that character because that character has been around a long time already. Not as long as Batman, but Batman is only slightly younger than Jesus. So,
That's true.
It still has a lot of history, and it's a very interesting character, and there's the whole dynamic, and of course, Batman or Bruce Wayne somehow is going to have a small role, even if it's just a cameo, even if he's just a voice on a communication device at some point, because you got to have that conflict between them, and it's not like they're at war, not at all, but there is conflict between them because, as you said, that's why he's Nightwing. That's why he is no longer like a 38-year-old Robin, because he had to move on. So that has the potential to be terrific. That is very cool.
I'm going to
nice director.
Yeah. Good director. Yes, number 2 this week comes from a genre that, I'll be honest, I'm not big into horror movies.
I am.
But I like this idea. Stephen King, right?
Right.
Getting together with J.J. Abrams, Captain Lens Flare, and doing a project called Castle Rock, which is going to be about a number of Stephen King movies, or Stephen King books, which are all set in pretty much, Maine, but they're all going to be linked on this TV show.
Right.
So Stephen King's getting his own TV universe to play with, which is, I think that sounds pretty cool.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, because hopefully they can cut down. Here's the thing. They have a TV production budget. They don't have a movie production budget. So right there, they're going to be cut down to no more than 5 lens flares per episode. So that helps right
Yay.
there. Talk about a rich universe. And a lot of Stephen King is not set in Castle Rock, Derry, etc. But a hell of a lot it is. Most of it is, or has links to it. So talk about a rich universe to explore. I mean, this is almost like along the lines of like DC and Marvel, just the amount of terrain they can investigate. Because there's so many characters, so many storylines, things he can expand. God, how many short stories has Stephen King written? Published probably easily in the hundreds. He's probably written thousands, literally. So there's no shortage of material, that's for sure. So that is very exciting news. And as I understand, the first run is going to be what has become the new format is an 8-run episode, and we'll see if they like it. Because that way the investment is somewhat minimized, and they're not doing 13-episode or 22-episode buys. They're just doing 8. And if it works, yay, they do another 8. And they do them later on that year, and they keep on going. So, that's terrific news. That is very cool. Really looking forward to that.
The article I found this in mentions the following stories associated with this already. Cujo, Needful Things, Dark Half, Bag of Bones, Dead Zone, The Body, and The Sundog are all already set at Castle Rock. Plus, It, The Stand, Pet Cemetery, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, Dreamcatcher, and Gerald's Game all mention Castle Rock. So we can expect to see, all of this, I think.
Huge amount of material. And, I mean, he could expand. And who knows how they'll go. I mean, they could just do each one is somewhat linked, because I haven't seen anything you may have where each one may be a separate story, but they're all linked by the fact they're in Castle Rock, or they may do something more like American Ghost Story is, American Crime Story, et cetera, where there's one theme and they follow that for the mini season. And so who knows what they'll do. But it's an awesome idea. It's an awesome idea. Hopefully,
I think it's cool.
It's executed well. Yeah. It has the potential to be fantastic. And at worst, it should be entertaining. At the worst. We'll see undead weird things with lens flares, which can't beat that.
Yes, that's how the things from Pet Cemetery come back, is they just, lens flare, and there it is. Don't do that, please. One of the stories, we've been teasing this for the past several weeks, but now I have a quote to go with it. So we're going to go ahead and I think it's kind of a spoiler if you haven't seen Split. But
by this point, if you haven't seen Split, you deserve to be spoiled. We're spoiling it for you.
So there.
You've had time.
You've probably heard about this by now anyway.
Right.
And I'm not going to spoil the specific ending, but at the end of the movie, we find out that James McAvoy's character also lives in the same universe as Bruce Willis's character David Dunn from the movie Unbreakable.
Right.
So there's a theory that it's M. Night Shyamalan's own universe, and when there may be a movie with both of them in it, and Samuel L. Jackson reprising his character, whose name has just escaped me, and I can't find it on the screen.
Mr. Glass.
Thank you.
Yes.
Like half glass empty. No, cup. I came up with cup. That's wrong. Anyway, Samuel L. Jackson had a quote this week that he said he saw the movie and immediately called Shyamalan and said, quote, "Okay, dude, does this mean what I think it means?"
Nice.
So Samuel L. Jackson he's like, okay, let's put this together. Let's do it. I like the idea. So look, yet another universe to play with.
And the only reason he's excited is because he wants to wear that wig again. Because that was a badass hairpiece he wore in that movie. I really, really like Unbreakable. That actually is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie, even more than The Sixth Sense. I think that's a very underrated flick because it's a very different take on the superhero genre. And the way it links up is, I think it's just, well, actually, I think it's brilliant. And the tie-in with Split absolutely made the movie for me for Split. I enjoyed Split, but when that scene came up, that links the two, I thought, oh my God, this is awesome. Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like the squee moment. Although thankfully I didn't do that because that would have been like weird in a movie theater. But yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. So that makes me very happy. And the fact that Split was so well done is like, oh, he actually somehow got the chops back. He can pull this off. So good news all around.
I think it might be that he got back to doing his own work because he started doing, like when he did Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
and,
well.
That's not his stuff.
No.
So I think, if he does his stuff, he'll be fine, which is good. Go back to his stuff.
His stuff got kind of, yeah. But however, he definitely got it back with Split. And boy, that's like getting the band back together in many ways. And as you had said, McAvoy he's brilliant in Split. So
he is.
What a fun character to play with. And just the other two characters, that's just... What's interesting is that apparently McAvoy's character was originally in Unbreakable, and then he really felt it didn't really work within the context of it, so he set it aside. So he's been holding on to that concept all these years. So now it comes back in. So very, very cool. That is finally there's good news for him because it's in some ways it's fun to use him as a punching bag, but I'd much rather have him make great films or fun films at least. So
those are our 3 yeses. Now we've got a couple of no's that unfortunately we've got to take care of. The first one being from director Guillermo del Toro, who said, quote, must report that 100% the sequel called Hellboy 3 will not happen.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing. I enjoyed the Hellboy movies. They were a bit
very
odd.
disappointing.
But you know what? You can make odd movies. Odd movies are good.
Odd movies are great, and he's made some terrific movies, and that was, but then again, at least it's kind of the good kind of no, because it's unlikely that someone else is going to exactly. It's like Zack Snyder's not going to take the damn thing over, so maybe a long time in the future they'll do a Hellboy relaunch. Well, long time we know they will, probably within 7 years, and then maybe he'll be back on board, but. Yeah, that was disappointing to hear that, but at least it's the kind of disappointing. It was like, gee, I wish this had happened instead of, oh my God, no, why are they doing this? So that is disappointing, though, because those are very cool movies. Those are fun. They're very weird and very fun. No, number 2 comes from ABC, and we're going to be getting into the Oscars themselves later on in the show, but they have this ABC in their infinite wisdom. I'm sorry. ABC has decided to make live streaming of the Oscars on your wireless internet device more difficult if you live in a rural area, which I would think if you need, to limit it in the cities where you can just go next door and go, hey, Bob, my TV's out. Can I watch yours? As opposed to, hey, Jethro, I can't find the Oscars. I'm going to go travel next door to our neighbor 26 miles that way on our tractor and see if I can find something. No, those are the people that need it. So that voice is too authentic. That bothers me. What is their justification for this? That's completely
I have not
inane
found one.
/ stupid. Wow.
Like I said,
that makes no sense.
Wisdom. They say it's supposed to be a thing, but no, it's not.
When you're streaming this, the ads are still on. So do they really want to cut viewership of the ads, which are paying for this podcast?
Wait a minute. We could lose money on this? Quick, Steve, put everything back.
I really don't understand that at all.
That's why it's in the no category, because that's just stupid.
Yeah, totally stupid.
Just stupid. Movie that's coming out next week, everyone seems to be looking forward to Logan, the third of the Wolverine movies. And I have seen a number of stories concerning this in the past week, and they go like this. Logan doesn't have a scene after the credits. Wait, Logan does have a scene after the credit. No, it doesn't. It has one. They added 3 minutes to the movie, so it has an end credit sequence. No, that's editing from the middle of the movie. No, it's got one. No, it doesn't. It has. I don't care anymore. Shut the hell up and put the movie out.
Everyone is going to sit there anyway.
Shut up.
Yeah.
If it's there, spectacular. If not, I don't care. You know what? I'm not even going to go see it in theaters anyway because guess what? They recast some of the characters again. I mean, it's not as blatant as what they did with what was his name in Days of Future Past, who wasn't in the comic in Days of Future Past, but
virtually everybody.
Virtually everybody.
I'm very hopeful that this is going to be good, and I know you are too. You just don't expect it to be because track record.
What track record? The track record drives straight off the end of a cliff. And
the fact that they're doing an X-Men TV show, that's coming up, and the fact that they're talking about, what plot can we do when we do another X-Men movie? Oh, I know. Let's do the Dark Phoenix things because, oh my God,
we've already done it once, screwed it up already. So screw it up.
Let's screw it up again. Why not? Yeah, there's not a lot of reason to look forward to their work because, like you said, what track record? I'm hopeful that somehow by mistake they get this one right because this is their last shot apparently with Hugh Jackman. So it'll be nice for him to go out on a good note on this, unless of course Ryan Reynolds cons him into at least doing a cameo in Deadpool 2. That would be fun. We'll see.
Well, actually, he has said Hugh Jackman has said specifically, "No, I'm not doing it."
Yeah, that's what he said.
Which means it'll come out next week.
Exactly. Here's the switch. He's Deadpool.
But,
that would be fun.
He's going to show up in the end credit sequence that may or may not be at the end of Logan and/or Deadpool, and they're going to increase it by 3 minutes and shrink it and increase it and shut up. Don't start.
They need to pull the thing like you had mentioned in several shows past of the Clue release pattern where they have 3 different versions, and one it's inserted, and one it's in the end credits, and one it's not there at all. And it's like nobody knows what the hell's going on, and everyone's pissed. But they're talking about the movie. That's what they want. So.
Mission accomplished.
There you are.
So those are our 3 no's. This week's kinda, and this can go real quick. Watch this. They're making a biopic of a man named Jack Daniels. He made that Tennessee whiskey stuff. Do you care about a biopic for Jack Daniels?
Nah. Jack Daniels is a fairly good beverage, but if it was my favorite beverage, I could care less about watching the biopic. I don't care.
See, there we go. Mission accomplished. Kinda is out of the way.
Is it on Lifetime at least? Oh, God.
I think it's on WGN, actually. And even less known at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, Guardians of the Galaxy news in our part of the segment. Earlier since they came out with the concept of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they pretty much announced that Kurt Russell will be playing the character Ego. And if you don't know the character of Ego is a living planet. All right? But for some reason, he takes human form in this movie. Okay, fine. But they don't know what his character is going to look like. Well, unveiled at the New York Toy Fair this past week, there's an action figure of what Kurt Russell is going to look like in the movie. You ready for this?
My guess.
Ready?
He looks like Kurt Russell. He looks like Kurt Russell. Listen.
Who the hell knew? I mean,
you don't cast Kurt Russell and don't put Kurt Russell in a movie. He's got to look like Kurt Russell. Now, what would be good, and I would not be a bit surprised if they don't do this, is that he looks like Kurt Russell for like 5 minutes, and the rest of the time he's this voice. That would be cool. I would like that. At some point,
he does look a bit like Jeff Bridges with the beard, but because it's not him. It's Kurt Russell.
I'd have to take human form at some point because it's kind of hard for a planet to knock Mom up, right? So,
well, you'd think.
Yeah, at some point he had to take human form. And if you're going to have sex with an alien and have a little Star-Lord baby, Kurt Russell, that's a pretty good way to go. I can see why.
Sure, why not?
Way. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Moving on to other stuff, this week we don't have Star Wars news. We have specifically Chewbacca news. See, it's not the whole universe. It's just the one character, but in 2 parts.
Ooh.
In the prequel, it has been officially announced that Peter Mayhew, who has been playing Chewbacca since they invented sand, I think.
I believe you're right.
he's not going to be doing Chewbacca in episodes 8 and 9 or the prequel because he's 72 years old and just doesn't move that well anymore.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that. The new guy's name is, and watch me mispronounce this, Joonas Suotamo. That's how I'm pronouncing it. If he wants to correct me, he can email the show. So we got a new guy playing Chewbacca. Nifty. And here's where the thing from Lumpawaru came in. Chewbacca had a son in the ill-fated Star Wars holiday special. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. Give it a shot. You'll hear Carrie Fisher sing the Star Wars theme song. Yeah. Did you know it had words? No one else did. And that's why George Lucas went, you know what? We're going to put this in a hole in my backyard. It turns out that the Disney people have decided that Chewbacca's son, named Lumpawaru, is now part of the official canon in the Star Wars universe. My thing is, he was in the old Star Wars universe before they retconned everything. And you should have stayed in that old universe because it made sense. What I don't understand, though, and maybe you have seen something different on this, does this mean that the Christmas special is now part of the canon?
Should.
I would think so.
Should. So
with,
therefore,
Family Day or whatever it was called.
So we should hear the Star Wars theme song. Were the lyrics the same as when Bill Murray sang it on Saturday Night Live? I'm hoping it's the same.
You know what? It could be.
That would be awesome.
I vaguely remember the Star Wars special as where they introduced Boba Fett in cartoon form. And something about B. Arthur had a song in the middle of it somewhere.
Yeah.
Listening to her speak was kind of weird enough, but listening to her sing was a bit terrifying. So, whatever.
And you said you weren't a fan of horror movies. Clearly, sir, you are a connoisseur of sheer horror.
Well,
clearly you are. God.
Speaking of horror movies, let's go on to Deadpool 2, where they have announced that not only is Cable going to be in it, but so is the character Domino.
Cool. Hopefully cool.
Allegedly, the frontrunners to play Cable and Domino are, respectively, Pierce Brosnan and Kerry Washington.
I saw the Pierce Brosnan thing, and my first reaction was, what? But I can see it working. I mean, the gentleman is an actor after all.
It's one of those things when you hear it, you kind of go, no, that can't possibly work. And then it sets in a little bit. And you go, well, kind of. And then you see it and you go, you know what? That did work. Kind of like when you first heard, Michael Keaton as Batman, and bear with me because I think he was probably the best part of this movie, Michael Chiklis as the Thing in the Fantastic Four movies.
Oh, absolutely. He was the only tolerable thing, no pun intended, in those movies. He was excellent. The costume was awful, but he was excellent.
Yeah, when you heard it, though, you kind of go, really? But it worked. So we'll find out.
I can see that. I think Kerry Washington definitely can work as Domino. But, that's one of those things that's almost like stunt casting, but totally could work. Totally could work.
Yeah.
20 years ago? No. But now? Yeah. No. Hell yeah.
Another bit of casting news. Actually, two other bits of casting news from the Marvel Universe. The Inhumans TV series has cast, I'm not going to mispronounce this guy's name, Iwan Rheon. Maybe. He was in Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
He's going to be playing Maximus the Mad in the Inhumans TV series. Okay.
Interesting.
I know the main Inhumans. I don't know Maximus very well. Mean anything to you?
No, I'm somewhat familiar with the name, but that's about all I can tell you about it. So
that's all I got.
I have no info for you. I just want to know who's going to play Gorgon.
And how they're going to do his legs.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter who plays him. I just want to know how they're going to do the legs, because Gorgon has knees that are on the back of his legs, which is really weird. It fits the character, but and unfortunately, the other Marvel casting news comes out of the X-Men TV series. where they announced Jamie Chung will be playing the character Blink. Now, when this was announced, there were two comments that caught my eye on the bottom of the page. The first comment was, "I didn't know the punk band has powers." And the follow-up was, "Yes, 182 of them."
Oh, wow. That's much better. Those comments alone are probably going to be much better than that TV show will be.
I suspect as much. If you're not familiar with the character of Blink, oh dear, she was played in Days of Future Past by an actress named Fan Bingbing, who is possibly a distant relative of Honey Boo Boo, I'm not sure, or co-star in that movie who played Warpath, Boo Boo Stewart, which I don't know who came up with these names. It was just, Boo Boo Stewart. Hey, Boo Boo, why don't we go round us up some Muty picnic baskets? No, that doesn't work very well for me.
Oh, it totally works.
I don't know. Hey, Boo Boo, moving on from the superhero news. We're going to go see Robin Hood, which is different than Robin who became Nightwing. Different thing altogether. There was an interview with, let's see, I've forgotten who made this movie even. Director Otto Bathurst, who's creating the new Robin Hood series. And he had a quote that just struck me as stupid. Why they're making the movie, quote, "We want to be entertained. Every day the film seems to be more and more important. We have the best entertainment. No one has entertainment like we do. All other entertainment, sad." No, wait, I switched to Donald Trump in the middle of that.
I was gonna say.
But it's about the same thing. It doesn't sound like it was thought out very well. I like some of the people in the cast. Well, okay, I like Tim Minchin in the cast. Everyone else I'm kind of about. And we don't need another Robin Hood movie.
No. Just like we don't need another King Arthur movie, which is King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, which is coming. Yeah, directed by Guy Ritchie, which is okay.
Weird.
That's an odd take. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of camaraderie and some minor thievery and some action, and just stop with this stuff, please. I mean,
well, here's another one I'm trying to figure out. There's some people who are trying to make a movie out of the video game franchise Metal Gear Solid. My problem with this is, if you've ever played any of the Metal Gear games, basically they're already a movie with, broken up with video game play.
Right.
There's a lot of cinematic sequences that are already movies. Why are you are you going to recreate the game only using live action people instead of CG people? The games are almost cinema quality animation as it is, so I don't see the point. Do you see the point?
Yeah, it's a different audience. I mean, it's the same reason why they made a Warcraft movie, and we'll make more Warcraft movies.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think there's any point to it personally, but I mean, they got a built-in audience, so that's what they think. It's like, oh, how many people play this? Well, let's make a movie about it. Just same reason they made the Battleship movie. And
because
that works so damn well, yeah. But, hey, then again, as you said, they made, what's a big success right now is the Batman Lego movie, which came out because the Lego movie was such a big success, and it's really a very funny, good movie. So sometimes these things can work. You never know. We can only hope and pray that they bomb and they never do this kind of thing again. So.
Speaking of bombing and never doing the sort of thing again, Keanu Reeves has said he's open to a fourth Matrix movie, which confuses the crap out of me because he died in the third one. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Spoiler? Should I have spoilered that? No.
Oh, yeah, you should have spoilered that.
10 years old. If you don't know by now, tough. He died. But I'm open to a fourth. Yeah, whatever. Moving on.
If we go back and just ignore the second two, then still no. But yeah, just
no.
How much worse would it be? I mean, was it not a big enough crap fest by the time they got around to the third one? Really, you want to continue that downward spiral of doom? No, just do another John Wick film, please. That's fine.
speaking of doing another film, I mentioned this, might have been last week, might have been the week before, about actor Donnie Basco, who started a Kickstarter to get a Rufio film as a prequel to Hook. He made the money. So apparently he's going ahead with it. Brace yourself, Rufio is coming.
There's way too much money in this world, apparently.
Yeah, Rufio is coming back, and apparently so is The Terminator. James Cameron has said that The Terminator 2 Judgment Day is going to be done in 3D and released theatrically. That's as close to Arnold as I'm going to get. I don't know that this is necessary because, I mean, we're going from Dante, who needed a Kickstarter to start his money, to start his movie, to James Cameron, who has apparently way too much damn money because he's doing this. Yeah.
He just emptied the cookie jar and said, we will release the whole thing in 3D. Sounds like.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me.
Generally, if movies are really good, I'm much more in favor of just re-releasing the damn things instead of rebooting and relaunching and screwing them up, which is what tends to happen. So, not always, but all too often. When it really hit home for me was when the RoboCop reboot, relaunch, whatever the hell you want to call it, came out. Which is an okay film, except for the fact that you're comparing it to the really awesome freaking movie called RoboCop. Just cut a new print of the damn movie that's great. Don't make a new version that's watered down and semi-crappy. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Or is that too easy?
Compared to them, let's redo Terminator 2, which would be insane and stupid. So I'm much more on board with this idea than some idiotic thing like that. Well, that'll probably happen again anyway.
Well, yeah. I suspect as much. Quick question, and it's just because I happen to look at his IMDb page. Do you like William Dafoe? Or I guess Willem?
I like him in many roles, yes.
Good.
But it's not like, oh my.
7 over the next 12 months.
Well then.
Brace yourself. Willem Dafoe is coming.
He's in the Great Wall.
And thankfully that's the end of the news. There was a lot of crap this week. I guess making up for last week.
There's a lot of crap this week. Some of it was excellent crap. He's in 7 movies in the next 12 months.
7 movies in the next 12 months.
He's like the new Michael Caine, or perhaps the new Chris Hardwick.
Yes.
That's crazy. 7 movies. Holy crap. I wonder if he has 17 wives or something. He's got a lot of alimony, or he's just buying a lot of villas. That's a hard work schedule that he finished up there. Anyway,
maybe he has one of Calvin and Hobbes's duplicator machines.
He should have transmogrified himself when they played the Goblin, because that was a terrible costume. They ruined the freaking Goblin in that movie. Anyway.
Well done.
Yeah. I don't really want to talk about the Oscars yet, so talk about the Great Wall.
Okay.
I saw the Great Wall, and one of our mottos, among our various mottos, is we watch it so you don't have to. No, you don't have to. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it's much like the Great Wall. It's there. And there's really not much of a reason for this film to exist, because there's not much of a story to it. Matt Damon, for whatever reason, magically appears in China. He's looking for gunpowder, but there's virtually no backstory. There's no character development of anybody in this freaking movie. They just show up. They start fighting these monsters. There's this general thing. The monsters showed up in a meteor 2,000 years ago, and every 60 years, for whatever reason, they come back. So they built the Great Wall as a defense, but they're getting smarter and smarter. So it's all these people in a big, spectacular, flashy, kind of cool-looking film. Kind of, because the CGI is actually not that great. And they kill the monsters, and then some of the peripheral good guys die, because peripheral good guys die in movies like this. And the bromance lasts, and the good guys win at the end, and the monsters are killed. There you go. Now you don't have to go see the movie. So, as you said, why Matt Damon is in this film, he's in the film because, okay, that'll help pull in American audiences, they're hoping. They would have done a better job of pulling in American audiences by making a better movie. Because, like I said, I mean, these characters they're so cardboard. Some of the actors have less personality than the damn CGI monsters. It's just... Yeah. When it's on cable, watch it. But don't even pay $250 to go see it, because it's just like, loud. It's loud and noisy, and it's like
kind of like the guy who just now decided to start mowing his yard outside my window. Sorry about that. If you're wondering what that humming noise is.
Well, I don't hear the humming noise, so hopefully our 17,000,008 listeners don't hear it. A very fun movie, at least to me, that I did watch this weekend, and actually did a weird little experiment. There's a great, very underappreciated 70s crime thriller that actually was made in 1999. It's called Payback with Mel Gibson. And it's the 70s crime flicks like The French Connection, stuff like that, where it's very gritty, and the general tone is grim, and the color is even kind of washed out. Everything is just kind of blues, and they've just got this jazz soundtrack just pounding all the time. It's such a great homage to like the 70s movies with the anti-hero. The tagline was "Get ready to root for the bad guy," and it's like you really don't even root for him, because he really is kind of a bastard. I mean, he kneecaps people just because he's tired of talking to him. He shoots people because they're of no use to him anymore. It's a revenge flick, and the bit of humor that's in it is he pulls off a job with his partner. His partner and his wife double cross him, shoot him, leave him for dead. He comes back months later. All he wants is the $70,000, which was his split of the. He doesn't want the whole 130. He just wants his cut. And he moves up the chain of the mob bosses, and the mob bosses always look at him like, "What are you doing this for $70,000? That's crazy. No one does this." And he gets tired. He gets exasperated at times of just explaining to him. And at one point, he finally just gives up and says, "Fine, whatever," and he shoots somebody for it. But it has a great cast, and there are all these icons of like 70s flicks. Chris Christopherson is in it as like the head mob boss. James Coburn is in it. Willem Devane is in it. Sorry, William. Got in the Willem Dafoe mode. It's Peter such a cool, fun. Yeah, and Peter Dinklage is not in it. Yeah. And Bill Duke is in it though.
Well, they're interchangeable if you watch the X-Men movies.
They are interchangeable. The budget for this movie was $90 million. Pretty good budget for 1999 for this kind of flick. The box office was about 89, so it was not a success in any remote way. The director, who had a different version of it, and it was taken from him because the studio didn't like the way it tested in test audiences, took the reins from him, and along with Mel's help, reshot a lot of the film, including a lot of the third act, and that was the version that was released. And he said, "Well, this is why, because my version was much better." 2006, the director's cut came out. You can find that online. It's called Payback. To me, the original is much, much better because the blue kind of washed out tone is gone, so it's brighter and more colorful. It doesn't fit the whole concept. The jazz soundtrack is gone, and it's just more of kind of a random blah, blah, blah. The entire third act is changed, where he did a smart little move of pulling some kidnapping, and it's made basically just a shootout. It's a much duller film, so I think for once the studio was right to interfere with the director. So if you're going to watch Payback, just Payback, 1999. Don't bother with Payback straight up. If you see them in a video store and it's like $3.99 for the Blu-ray, and if it's Payback straight up, skip it. I don't care if they throw it in for, well, if they throw it in for free, take it. But don't even pay $1 for it, because it's not fun. And if you've seen the original, it just pisses you off. And it was very weird to watch them simultaneously, because a few times you had to skip ahead and resync because there were little tiny cuts here and there to cut the running time. They cut it from 104 minutes, I believe, to 90. So the director's cut actually cut some time out. And
that's weird.
Did nothing for it. And what's odd is a couple of reviews of the recut, said that one of the characters' performances was much better in the second version. It's the same exact performance. They didn't change anything. They didn't reshoot anything. It's like, what the hell? You know, the general, and a lot of people do prefer the remake, which is cool. They're wrong and crazy, but
yeah,
it misses the whole point of being, it doesn't fit with the 70s anymore. And that was the whole point of the damn thing. And it's like, well, they made Mel Gibson too nice. He still kneecaps people, still shoots people in the face, still rips a nose ring out of a guy's nose. You know, yeah, he does it with. One of my favorite scenes. When you said a smile, one of my favorite scenes in the movie. He lifts a guy's wallet because he's looking for someone who looks kind of like him, so he can steal the guy's ID. And the guy's smiling in ID, and he's standing in front of the mirror, and he's trying to smile. He's practicing smiling. That's how awful a person he is. And he does this kind of half smile, and he looks so much like some bizarre Westworld thing, trying to learn to look human. It's an awesome, awesome moment. It's a weird movie, and a lot of people won't like it because he's a bastard in the movie. But he's a fun bastard. It's Mel Gibson. It does have the torture porn, which he loves. He loves being tortured in his movies because that's his weird psychological thing where he's atoning for sins for whatever reason. So it does have the torture porn scene for him, which he loves doing. But again, very cool movie. I really recommend Payback, which is available, by the way, if you have Amazon Prime, it's free. So there you go.
Hey, speaking of free things, I found a place where you can watch a lot of free movies and there's a lot of other free stuff. Let me get to the one movie I saw first, because it's actually not a remake. There are other versions of it, though, that came out much later, as in our lifetime. The movie I saw was the 1955 Roger Corman classic, ready for the title, The Fast and the Furious, in 1955. Nice. This one starred John Ireland and Dorothy Malone. Don't know either of them, but that's okay. John Ireland's character escaped from jail because he was wrongly accused of a crime he didn't commit. And if you want to hire him, and if you can find him, no wait, that's the A-Team. He wanted to prove his innocence, and no one would listen to him about the one-armed man. So that's Fugitive. Basically, the story is he was bullied by a big business and framed for a murder that he didn't commit. So he kidnaps Dorothy Malone, who has a nice Jaguar in the movie and should be in the credits as the star, and tries to take off with her to Mexico so he can escape from the law. If that sounds familiar, it was remade as the 1994 movie The Chase, starring Charlie Sheen as John Ireland, Christy Swanson as Dorothy Malone, and Henry Rollins, who somehow got in the third billing spot. If you like old black and white car chases, and this part is really weird. He tries to escape to Mexico by joining a cross-country race. And so there's it's not so much car chases as it is car racing. But part of the car racing scenes, there are people making wrong turns in the race. So you see them, stop and back up and no, I meant to turn left here. And you kind of go, did they mean to put that in the movie? I'm not sure. It's not a long movie, and you can find it free, so go ahead. And where you can find it free, this is kind of a cool thing, I think. I've actually been using this website for a couple of years, but for something different, and I'll get to that too. It's called archive.org. And no, it's not the Internet Archive, which is a different thing. Archive.org/details. And I'll get you to the other part in just a minute. Write that down or, download the show. Listen to this bit over and over. If you go to archive.org/details/movies and films, you will get a lot of old silent movies for free, a lot of it's mainly old movies. Occasionally you'll get a documentary that comes through, but there are movies like Night of the Living Dead. The original version is on this website, free to watch. There's a lot of Charlie Chaplin films. If you're interested in finally getting around to watching Plan 9 from Outer Space, it's here. Lots of Three Stooges episodes. It's all free stuff. It's an interesting watch if you're into old movies. If you're not, try this, archive.org/details/Internet Arcade. And this is the part I've been using for a while. The Internet Arcade has, at the moment, 608 old video games from like the 80s that you would play in the arcade, but you get them at home. And these are games that don't really have good home versions like Defender or Outrun and Joust 2 different video games from Tron.
Or Congo Bongo.
Congo Bongo is on there. That I actually do play that occasionally. Just there's sports games. There's other sci-fi. The Journey video game. Do you remember Journey, the band, having a video game?
Luckily, I don't. But
okay, well, I'm actually going to say avoid that one because it's got stick figures with the band members' heads on them, and you do stuff.
Good news, kids. Q*bert's on there.
Uh-oh. Q*bert is on here. There's 2 different versions of Q*bert. I don't remember the second one from an arcade.
Tron is on here.
Tron, the Star Trek video game. If you remember that was cool. Sinistar, Robotron, lots of stuff. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. And once the website gets up, I will put links to both of these on our website.
Lovely. Robotron is awesome, by the way.
I'm not
sure
how you play with a keyboard. But,
I was thinking about the Tron thing. That might be difficult playing Tron, but
Tron is not easy to play with a keyboard. But if it has joystick adaptability, if that's a word.
Easy for me to say, you to say, someone to say, not us.
If you want to say it. But yeah, archive.org is actually it's got I think it has TV shows too, but I haven't found them yet. They're there somewhere.
I bet it does. It has thousands of movies.
Yeah, at the moment, the movie website claims to have 21,668 movies.
Not
all for
too
free. Enjoy.
Shabby. Not too shabby. That should at least keep you guys busy until our next show.
I would
hopefully. I would think so, yes. Not that this show is over, but an excellent find, an excellent recommendation. And we get nothing for it.
No. But if you want to sponsor us, contact us through the website, which will be up soon.
Another source, which does cost money, unfortunately, but not a whole lot of money, there is a website called Fandor. It is an excellent streaming service that's available also on Roku. Honestly, I don't remember what the hell the subscription is. I think it's like $3.99, $5.99 a month, something like that. If you like unusual films, weird films, you know how a lot of sites say, we have movies that aren't on Netflix. This place has movies that are not on Netflix. This is definitely where movies like that live. A lot of art house films, a lot of foreign films, old classics, like Sweetback's Badass Song. Foreign, not porn, sorry. Foreign films.
I heard
films. Films that Donald Trump does not like, unlike the golden showers that he enjoyed in Russia, allegedly. So, foreign films. But Sweetback's Badass Song, that is one of the mainstays. So they have a lot of the blaxploitation films, which are cool. Something I came across, Little Nemo in Slumberland, which I think is like a 1912 film, which is kind of old. Little Nemo is one of the first very successful comic strips ever. And this is one of the first successful animated films. And it's very it's weird. Of course, it's silent. The actual animator is in Winsor McKay. He's in it, and he's just demonstrating. Part of the movie is him demonstrating, this is how I can animate characters, because people are saying, you can't possibly make those cartoons move. They're just pieces. They're illustrations. They can't move. So they demonstrate the process, and he shows this little thing, and it's extremely charming and very cool. And the fact that it's like, God, that's over 100 freaking years old. There's so much interesting stuff on Fandor. And again, that's F as in Frank, ANDOR. That you can go to their website. If you're on Roku, you can check out what they've got. And it's just a very odd, very eclectic trove of odd cinema. I'll just put it that way. I mean, there's some stuff that's not that strange, not that out there. But if you're looking for something other than, God, there's nothing on Netflix, there's nothing on Hulu, this is a place where you find things that aren't on any of those other things. Very, very cool. And like I said, it's not going to cost you much to find out if you like it or not. And if you don't like it, then don't talk to me, because that's your fault. You should like it. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's very, very interesting. And definitely check check out archive.org first, because that's free.
Free is good.
Free is, we love free.
Free, yes.
Because
although we like to get paid, so if you want to, throw money at us. Go ahead.
Throw money at us. I suppose at some point we should talk about the Oscars. Do we want to talk about the Oscars, or do we want to talk about something else first?
So we should probably get that over with, yes.
Yeah. Hey, the Oscars are Sunday.
Yay.
Rob doesn't care. A lot of people watch the red carpet. I don't care. There are millions of people literally.
I have watched the red carpet before, and I've never noticed it does a damn thing. It just kind of sits there.
No. Yeah, some people like to watch the red carpet and then they don't stay for the show, which I don't get. I like watching the Oscars because every once in a while there's an amazing, fun, cool, interesting, heartfelt, tremendous speech. Sometimes there are disasters, like when the guy streaked to David Niven, which was, God, what is that, 40 years ago. So weird things happen sometimes. Maybe Jennifer Lawrence will trip again because that's always charming when she trips. Hopefully she won't, but she probably will. We know that happens. I don't really even feel like making Oscar predictions. I mean, whoever wins, wins. I will be kind of upset if Denzel Washington doesn't win because I really think he should win because he's awesome. I think he's much better in Fences. Denzel is awesome in Fences. I think he's better in Fences than anybody else is in anything, period. All the other awards, I really don't care. Best Picture, if it's La La Land, I'll be pissed because La La Land is just, to me, it's kind of an average movie. It looks great.
It's currently the favorite.
I like the plot. I think it was awesome that they had the courage to have the ending that they did because it's not the kind of ending you would expect for that kind of movie typically. I'll just say that. But the fact that, as we said last week, the fact you have a musical and your two leads are only adequate at singing and dancing makes no freaking sense. And again, they're not bad, but they're not good. What the hell is the point? So don't ever do that again, please. Ryan Gosling is an awesome actor. He's just terrific, but he's not a great singer. Don't put him in a damn musical, okay? Emma Stone I can do with or without either way. But again, she's got one song where she sings fairly well, but I'm sorry. That doesn't overcome the fact that she's not good at all in all the other songs that she sings in the film. There's too many songs if you're going to have people who cannot freaking sing. It's like you've got John Legend in the film, and he's got one number. Are you kidding me? What the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, yeah. One thing I did want to mention, though, there's been talk about Casey Affleck. Apparently, he is up, and apparently he's like was one of the very.
He seems to be the favorite
favorites.
at the moment.
Right, and that support is kind of eroding, although it would have had to erode pretty quickly because the votes are in. Apparently, there's some sexual assault allegations that were around him. This is from 2010. Really? And this is just kind of now surfacing. And so people are saying, why did he get kind of the gloves off treatment when Nate Parker, who starred and directed in Birth of a Nation, absolutely got blown out of the water for the case with him. And then part of it, I guarantee, is race. Nate Parker is black. Casey Affleck is white, in case you couldn't figure that out. Part of, though, is the nature of the cases. Nate Parker was accused of rape a long time ago. He was acquitted of that. When you're acquitted of a crime, that's it. You're done. And there's more baggage around it and stuff, but he was acquitted. So to me, it's kind of like you can't really. And there was no civil suit afterwards, like with a certain O.J. Simpson, where everyone kind of feels like, yeah, you might have been acquitted, but I don't give a shit if the glove didn't fit because, dude, you're guilty and everybody knows it. This is not that situation. So Nate Parker
I will disagree with you on O.J., but okay.
Nate Parker got ripped on for something that happened about 15 years ago when he was acquitted. We can talk about O.J. on another show. And Casey Affleck, this happened.
Ryan Sandberg did it, so.
Casey Affleck, this situation happened, well, now about 6.5 years ago, but it wasn't rape. So it was the two claims that were filed against him were that he climbed into bed with someone who was asleep and that he did not allow a young lady to leave a room without her protesting loudly, and he grabbed her by the arm. So different level of charges, very different level of charges. The difference is...
Still just as creepy, but yeah.
These were settled out of court. Affleck paid to settle out of court in these. So there's a different level of what happened here as opposed to someone who went on trial and was acquitted. So the charges in Parker's case are worse, but he's acquitted of those charges. So he could have been charged with murdering 9,000 people. He was acquitted. So he didn't do it. Casey Affleck settled out of court on this. He might not have done it either, but there's a different level of, what's going on here? Then there was someone who's acquitted in trial. And the fact that Parker, as I said, was absolutely hammered for this in the media, and Casey Affleck is basically, until just the past week or so, got a complete free ride on this. That's where I say, okay, that's a little interesting how there were two different approaches. Yeah, the stories are different, but to me, why is one person never had a shot at the awards, and the other one, up until a week ago, was an absolute shoo-in for the award? So, again, kind of interesting how our society views things. Not in a good way, all too often.
Yeah. Take, for example, the animated feature film category, just to throw this
I'll take
out.
it.
Because it's the only category that I'm actually caring about, because Kubo is in it.
Right.
And Kubo is not winning, and is favored to be third, really, behind Zootopia, which bored me to tears, and Moana, which I actually did watch this past weekend, and it's cute, but Kubo is a lot better. So there.
Yeah, and I like both those movies. I like Zootopia. I like Moana, but Kubo is a much, much better film. A much better film.
Yes.
I mean, Kubo could potentially, as you said, that could have potentially been, well, not potentially, should have been nominated. Considering some of the films that are nominated for Best Picture, that easily could have been nominated for Best Picture. Not Moana, not Zootopia. So
I like it better than Arrival.
But, I really like The Rival. I really like The Rival, but yeah, I might have liked Kubo better. I mean,
I like The Rival better than well, that's the only one nominated for Best Picture that I've bothered to see, because I can't see myself being interested in the rest of them. Although you said Fences, so I'll watch Fences.
I really like Fences, and I really like Hidden Figures.
Got put in.
Yeah, I really like Hidden Figures.
Was left out. Hidden Figures, I am interested in seeing.
Yeah, Hidden Figures is very good, and to me, Hidden Figures should win Best Picture, because I think overall, to me, it's a better picture, period, than Fences, and it's however you view things, and really, how can you say, well, this is a better picture, etc. It goes back to that whole argument. But Denzel, to me, and the cast in Fences is tremendous, but to me, Fences is Denzel Washington. And yes, Viola Davis is nominated, and she apparently is like the huge favorite to win for her role, and that's fine. I'm not saying she's not great. She is. She's terrific. But Fences is his film, absolutely his film. Hidden Figures is much more of an ensemble piece, and to me, I like the film better. But again, that's just me. That would be fine choices. A lot of those movies have. I have managed to see all of the films, and La La Land is the only one that I would say was just okay. All the others are really good films, but there's better films that weren't even nominated. So, and
I just realized there's another category where I have seen 2/3 of the movies nominated,
which is
makeup and hairstyling.
The feeling is going to be that.
I have seen Star Trek Beyond, and I have seen Suicide Squad. I am not sure I've heard of a man called Ove. Yay, Star Trek could win a category. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's one of those things when they run the ads and they say, hey, it's the Oscar winning, and it's like for makeup. It's like, okay. Not that it's not important. It is. But it's not quite the same as saying this is the best picture. Not quite the same level at all. Oh, my God.
Best use of a prosthetic scar. What?
Yeah, close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't see how they pulled... Out of all the films, I don't know how they pulled Suicide Squad out and said, yeah, you're one of the third best for makeup and hair. Really?
The only makeup, decent makeup job was Harley Quinn, who was white, and her hair, which had blue and pink to it. The rest of it, everybody else looked pretty much like a human.
We've all seen people at the mall like that all the time, so I don't see the big deal.
I have a daughter who looks like that now. I mean, come on.
Well, there was Killer Croc. There's Killer Croc, which was very disappointing
right.
in that
Croc
film.
was in the movie, and thing is, Croc looked like something you would find on the TV show Face Off.
Yeah.
You know, where they do the makeup competition thing? He looked like he belonged there.
Which is a great show, by the way. Face Off is an awesome show. But yeah, Croc was very
early on. It's gotten less good as they go along. But
then maybe that's why I haven't watched it. Forget it. Watch the early seasons. Don't watch it anymore. Rob says it's awful. Rob says it makes him cry.
Well, I'm trying to remember what season Roy was in. Because there was one dude named Roy, wore a cowboy hat. He's from Georgia, whatever.
Yes, he's awesome.
We want you to make a mask with a cowl and other makeup. And he's like, okay, fine. So he would make like the mask and the cowl and some arm pieces and a robot for the person to walk in. And, everyone's struggling to get all the stuff done. And he's coming up with, I made a robot and a spaceship to go with him that he can fly in and walk and it all moves.
Yes.
And everyone goes, oh my God, how the hell did you get that done? And even the judges are going, wait, dude, who did you bring in to do this? No, it was just me. I had time and did this. And everyone goes, damn.
That guy is amazing.
So, yeah.
And I'm not sure if that was like season 4, but somewhere around there. And he is that time frame. Yeah, because you saw some amazing things, and occasionally, and like seemed like half the time it would be Roy. It was like, dude, why aren't you like headlining effects departments for movies instead of just working on the side? Because he was very creative and just.
Actually, I think the thing is,
they have 2 days.
He is now.
He's got to be now. He's got to be. But yeah, he should be running something because incredible. Incredible stuff. A free plug for Face Off. Send us money.
Exactly. We'll advertise your show.
Yeah. Like they want us to.
Speaking of spectacular shows, what kind of shows we have coming up for this week on
Amazingly enough, the baseball beer barbecue show will return tomorrow, and we're returning at 4 p.m. So we have been gone for a while because baseball has been gone for a while, but we will be back 4 o'clock tomorrow. That is me. That is Ted. That is someone else named me. So that will be much fun to talk baseball finally. And then,
took long enough.
Yeah. And probably Tuesday, there will still be the Cover 32 Seahawks show. And Ted usually is on Wednesdays, and you can never tell with Ted because Ted will listen to this at some point. So, Ted, you're kind of Weasley sometimes. But no, Late Night Parents with Ted Hicks. That is normally on Wednesdays. And
good show.
An excellent show. Yeah, if you're going to listen to one of the shows on the Happy Hour Network, the Coil Network, Coil Entertainment, yeah, there's better shows in Coil Entertainment than this. But as far as the Happy Hour Network, other than the baseball show, you need to listen to Late Night Parents because it's very, very good. It makes sense at times. How Ted manages that, I don't know, because he doesn't on the baseball show. I think he uses his brains for the Late Night Parents. And he just kind of phones it in for us.
And baseball.
Actually, it's because Lee and I bring him down to our level. That's what it is. So totally makes sense. Anyway,
right.
Podcasts, sir, podcasts.
Later this week, or I guess next week, depends on when you're listening. 2 pages of mystery on Wednesday. This week's episode, Lieutenant Cooper Wright and Detective Manny Vasquez investigate a serial killer who targets women using a particular dating website in an episode called Smile. It's going to be a fun show. I had a lot of fun writing it and putting this one together. Check it out on 2 pages of mystery or CoilEntertainmentNetwork.com, COYL. That's it. Entertainment Network. You can spell because those are words. And if you want to contact us, by us I mean me, Lumpy Waru, or Todd, contact us through, we have an email address now. It's cinemasavants@coilentertainmentnetwork.com. That'll be on the website too, which will eventually be cinemasavants.com or something like that.
Indeed.
So, to my knowledge, that's everything this week. What do you got?
That is everything this week as well, other than our closing, which means bye-bye.
Have a good week.
Ariel! Oopa! Right!
thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what?
Man, we have a weird job.
It's shameful, but it's a living.
Darn, that's the end.
If you own a small business, it's not a question of if some hacker is going to attempt to attack your company. It's a question of when. Let cyberpolicy.com keep you safe. CyberPolicy is the first end-to-end solution that combines cyber planning, security, and insurance. With CyberPolicy, your business will be protected against cyber attacks for as little as 40 cents a day. Visit cyberpolicy.com today and get a quote in just 4 minutes. cyberpolicy.com.
Spring is almost here. It's time to clear out the old and make room for what's new. This week only, come to Cabela's and find incredible deals on ammo, footwear, outerwear, and more. Get 15 to 20% off a huge selection of ammo from Hornady, Federal, PMC, and Herders. Plus, get 50% off select outerwear throughout the store. And 25% off select hikers and athletic footwear. Now's the time to save big. This week only at Cabela's.